Hello, it is April 7th, 2026, and I'm about to start on a journey to try to lose some weight using a GLP-1 inhibitor. Well, I think it's going to be Wegovy. Now, inhibitor is the key word here. I have been good in the past about doing all the things you need to do to lose weight during the daytime, but then in the evening I just start to nibble and nibble and nibble, and I need to have that appetite inhibited. And that's what these drugs do, and they seem to be doing it without negative side effects, and so I want to see what they do for me, and I thought that I would take you along for the journey so that if this is something that's interesting to you, you'll find out, does it work for me, and what are the effects that one experiences as one goes through it. I, of course, am a sample size of one, but there could be some things for us to learn from the experiences that this one person goes through. I decided to do this after doing a lot of reading and outside research in medical publications. And then I went to my doctor and said, am I a candidate for this? And he said, yes, well, you're kind of borderline, but yes, I'll give you a referral. Because here in Switzerland, if you go through the proper procedures, actually, the treatment ends up being covered by your insurance. And that sounds like a good deal to me, right? So the doctor wrote the referral to the clinic, and then it took a year. Said it was going to be at least a year before I was going to be able to have an appointment. And then 1 year turned into 15 months. Then I had a meeting, so I had to cancel that appointment, and so that turned into 18 months. So now it's been 18 months since I got the original referral. And during that time, because eligibility is based on BMI, I've had no incentive to lose weight and actually ended up gaining more, knowing that I was going to be able to take it off. So eating more cheese and all that sort of stuff. I've always done most of the right things. I exercise an awful lot. I walk 250 or 300 kilometers a month. I don't eat meat. And I know how to eat a good and healthy diet. I cook well. For the past year and a half, I've been eating a lot more cheese than I probably ought to. But really, it's a question of just eating too much, especially in the evenings. And I think the drugs are a solution. I don't want to make any judgments about myself or about anybody else who doesn't have the willpower to make it through on their own. Even if this does indicate that I'm morally weak, okay, I'll take that. So I go to the clinic tomorrow. I think I get to start on the medicine tomorrow, either that or it'll be next week. And I will film from time to time over the course of this journey. We will see together what happens. I'll let you know how I'm feeling, and we can assess how effective it is. Basically, I've got to lose a baby. I've got the equivalent of having an entire pregnancy belted to my belly. And I want to get rid of that, and then hopefully that will make me feel more fit overall. I'll be able to exercise better, maybe sleep better. We'll look at all these things as they go along, and I will get back to you. So let's get started. Well, it's a month and a half after I shot the introductory video, and I finally just yesterday started the treatment, just had the first shot of Wegovy. And I came out to make a video to tell you what's going on. Looked and looked for a quiet spot. It's very difficult to find a quiet spot. Got one, sat down, and got all set up, did the sound testing, and a young family came up behind me and sat down at one table at this very isolated place and are taking care of their kids. So I guess I'll go try to find somewhere else, or I'll shoot this another day from inside my apartment. Alright, let's try this again. This time, hopefully the only noise will be from the birds tweeting in the trees. So the first video I shot about this adventure that I'm taking with Wegovy was a month and a half ago in Verona, Italy. I thought that I was going to go back to Lausanne and immediately get prescribed the Wegovy. But it turned out that there was a sequence of other things. I had to go to a bunch of different seminars for a whole group of people who were going to be starting on this medicine, and then make an appointment to get a training in how to use the injection system. So I didn't get to start until May 21st, when I had shot the thing in Verona in early April. However, after one of the seminars about diet, I went back home and I sat down and did some research and did some math. I figured out what my daily maintenance rate was for how many calories I would need to take in to just maintain the weight that I had. And then I figured out my basic maintenance rate of how many calories I would need to take in every day, based on my weight, based on my age, based on the 10,000 steps that I take every day. And then I went to 10 different AIs, and I got varying answers from the different AIs. So just don't trust your AI, but it's a useful research tool. And I averaged out the answers that I got and came up with about 2,500 calories is my maintenance rate. And so I thought, well, if I hit 2,000 calories a day, then I would get myself onto a downward glide path. And That day I started to try to do that. To tell you the truth, it was actually quite successful, because what I was not trying to do is say, okay, I'm going to try to lose 32 pounds by Christmas. What I started telling myself was, okay, today's game is 2,000 calories. I started looking up the calorie values of the foods that I was eating, including figuring out per meal what I was eating. So for example, my breakfast, 2 poached eggs on an English muffin with a little bit of cream cheese, and a latte is about 500 calories. So then walking through the rest of the day, okay, 500 calories for breakfast, then figured out what I had for lunch. Okay, so if I had lunch at 600 calories, that meant I was at 1100 calories, and that meant I had 900 calories left for the day. How was I going to spend that 900 calories? What was my budget for that 900 calories? If I wanted to have a beer, well, that was going to be 150 calories for a small and 250 calories for a large, so I really stopped drinking the beers pretty quickly. And whatever else I ate for dinner, and then whatever I was going to snack on afterwards, because the snacking has been the big problem. Turns out that the sunflower seeds that I nibble on in the evening, those are actually pretty good. Sunflower seeds are very low calorie based compared to the amount of time it takes to eat them. So I continued with the sunflower seeds, and I started weighing myself pretty much every day, putting it into this graph, and here's a link to the graph as it grows, camu.c/uzito. I got on a definite downward trajectory. So over the course of a month, I managed to lose about 2 kilos. Maybe a little more, maybe a little less, depends, because when you weigh yourself, sometimes you have more fluid and more stuff in you, and sometimes you have less, so every day is, it's not a steady, but the trajectory definitely is downward. The question is that sustainable? Because the timing really is doing this every day between now and Christmas. And that's a long time. So while I have been able to win every day the 2,000 calories so far, it sometimes gets pretty tough. Okay, so that's where we stand. And then yesterday, I did the first little injection of the Wegovy in the morning. And then I found that I was not wanting to nibble over the course of the day and into the evening. I didn't even take out the sunflower seeds. Hit the 2,000 calories still, but it just felt a lot easier. Is that psychological? Is that physiological from having this medicine all of a sudden in my system? How will this play itself out? I don't know. It's an adventure, and we will see where it goes. I think that by having changed the habits first, I will not be thinking of myself as dependent on the medicine, and when I eventually get down to the weight that I'm aiming for, I will have really changed the habits, but have confidence that I've changed the habits, and then continue to go through the day thinking, okay, I've got my calorie count, I've got my budget, and this is what I can eat until I get there. If I'm in the habit of playing that math game every day and making sure that the foods add up to what I want, then when I get down to the weight that I'm targeting, I can actually pump back up a little bit of the food because I want to hit back to the maintenance rate rather than the reduction rate, and that'll be a little bit more pleasant, but I will continue, hopefully, to be able to play that game. So we'll see where that goes. We'll see how the medicine helps that out, assuming it helps it out, and I will report back in some weeks or months.